mindset. It's all about the mindset. From the moment you wake up to the moment you rest your head at night, everything is up to you. Your emotions, your thoughts, your perception, your reactions, every moment. The Love You Miss You Bye podcast. Let's inspire each other. I'm Christy Chanel, and I am so thankful that you decided to spend a little bit of time with me. And staying with the grateful mindset, I felt it was really important that I tell you how my first YouTube video premiere went for Love You Miss You Bye. First off, episode 2 and episode 3, I really open up my soul and share it with everyone. I get really, really raw, and it can be really scary when you put all of your skeletons out there for the world to see. So I was highly nervous. I opened a bottle of champagne that I had. I'm not a drinker, but I do like a little champagne and orange juice. So mimosas are my absolute favorite. Anyway, I opened up a bottle of champagne. My daughter's 21 now. She's like, Mom, you got to give me one. So her and I are drinking champagne, just calming my nerves for what I'm about to reveal. Now, I didn't really think anybody would show up, so it was fine. I knew my best friend would be there, and I knew my daughter would be there because I made her the moderator. With that came the surprise of having 2 of my longtime friends join the premiere. And then it became super fun. I was no longer nervous and worried. I was excited because I'm like sharing these episodes with my friends that I haven't spoken to in a very long time. So this podcast has actually brought people back into my life that were amazing people from my life. It ended up being a really fun night, one that I'll always remember. So I was nervous, but I was very thankful. I can't wait to do it again Sunday. Today, I went and got my nails done. I don't know if you can tell, but they're purple for my podcast. This is how much of a non-small talk person I am. I go and I sit down and I'm like, do you mind? I have to study for something. So I am going to listen to a podcast while I'm getting my nails done. So I put on my headphones and I turn on Theo Von podcast. I'm flipping through TikTok and I see him sitting there. And he has a guest on. I don't know his name, but the male guest is crying really hard. So whatever they're talking about is causing pain to the guest because they're reliving it by telling it to Theo. Theo says to him, I'm going to save a space for you right now. And it was just the most manly freaking thing I have ever seen between 2 men. It got me emotional just watching it. It was beautiful. I hope this is where we're going. I hope this is where we're headed, where we leave space for each other and men can actually have emotion. That's where I want to be. So I followed him. When I open my podcast space, it shows me things that they recommend. And it recommended today the Theo Von show with Tony Robbins. And I'm like, all right, it's more men and it's more feelings. And I want to know about that stuff. I'm listening to this. It was a 2-hour episode and I'm into it. I love this. I love everything about this. And it took me back to when I first started this podcast. And I told my brother, I'm like, John, I want to have a podcast for women where we lift each other up and we inspire each other. I just want to support each other. And he's like, yeah, that's cool. He goes, but why do you have to make it just for women? And I'm like, because that's who I am. That's who I'm going to speak to. And he's like, yeah. And that can be inferred, but you don't have to say it. What if men want to listen to you? What if they want to hear the insight from a woman? And I'm like, you know what? You got a great point. And I took women out of my intro. Now it's in my hashtags and stuff like that, but I don't advertise that this is a women's show because it's not just a women's show. And when I was listening to this, I could tell it was a male show and it was geared towards male thinking. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. And Theo doesn't come out and say this is a man's show. You just know it. It's inferred. The people that are into that are going to listen. Anybody that feels they need to hear it, they're going to show up. Just make the content. So that's what I've decided to do. Today, it's going to be positive mindset. The things that I've done in my career, I started out in restaurants, like I said in a previous episode. I wasn't going to be able to stay in restaurants because I wanted to be home at night to tuck my son in. So I eventually decided I needed to probably have an office job. I didn't have a college degree, so I had to try to figure it all out. I started working for my dad in Texas, and I learned about email. I learned about construction because it was concrete resurfacing. So I learned a lot about that kind of stuff with them. Then I got pregnant with Hannah. And with each child, I did not work for 2 years. I'm not sure how I managed that, but I didn't. I didn't. So I was on my after I had Hannah, we moved to Las Vegas, me and her dad. You know, he was working for my dad, and I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time, for 2 years. I started to become depressed. Now, I'm not saying staying at home is depressing or comparing it to anyone that's a stay-at-home mom. I'm just saying, for me, that's not who I am. I'm not a stay at home. I'm a career woman. I like to be working. I enjoy it. It fulfills me, and so does being a parent. I'm not diminishing that, but for me, I need to be working. Starting to get a little depressed. I started to have a lot of doubt about myself. And I remember my stepmom, Vonda, saying, "Christy, do you not see yourself? Do you not see what's in front of me? Because you have a lot more to give than the way you're acting." And I was like, okay, well, that was a real conversation. And then I found a job. It was for like $11 an hour. It was for a roofing company. So I'm like, all right. So I go and I show up and I start really kicking ass at my job. This was just like to shake the dust off of my brain. I was not going to stay at a job for $11 an hour, but I needed to shake the rust off my brain and get back into my kick ass mode. I get a random call. I'm telling you, the universe works in mysterious ways because you couldn't have written a script to work this well. I am sitting at my desk at my job. I'd been there probably 6 months at this point. The phone rings. I pick it up. And it is a recruiter who used to call the girl that worked in the position that I'm in at the same desk before me. And so she's like, hey, Crystal. And I'm like, this is Christy. It's not Crystal. And she's like, okay, well, are you happy there? Are you happy? And I'm like, I don't know. I guess it's fine. Why? And she's like, because I have an opportunity if you want to go on an interview. And I'm like, well, give me the facts. What is it? Well, this is salary. This is $15 an hour. It's on Howard Hughes Parkway. It's the big high rise overlooking the strip. And I'm like, I go, but today's dress down day and I'm in jeans and my hair's in a bun. And she's like, I will let them know. Just show up. And I'm like, okay. Why not? I got the phone call. There must be something to it. So I show up. I look and I'm looking around and this lobby is like granite, gorgeous. It's stunning. And I'm walking in my freaking sneakers and my hair in a bun. And I'm like, oh, there's no way. There's absolutely no way they were going to hire me. And I remember telling myself, but I'm going to go anyway. I'm going to see this through. Why not? What's the worst that'll happen? I'll be back at the job I'm at tomorrow. I don't lose anything by going. And I'm literally having this conversation in my head as I'm walking through the lobby. I get on the elevator, I go up, I sit down, and they call me back. And I meet the CFO. And we're having this really great conversation. And it's just a super, super conversation. At the end, she's like, all right, I like you. I want to hire you. So do you want the job? Yeah, I want the job. And she's like, okay. She's like, if you can pass a drug test, you're in. I'm like, fantastic. I can pass a drug test. When I got the job at Mulaski Pacific and I was leaving the roofing company, I walked in and I said, I found another job. I'm giving you my 2 weeks. They said, is there anything we can do to keep you here? And I said, there isn't. There isn't, because I feel like you should have already done that. You guys are underpaying. And you got a whole staff out there that is being underpaid. So if you could do anything for me, it would be to take the raise that you want to give me right now and split it out and give it to them. That's what you can do. And I literally did say that. And then I walked out there, I told them goodbye, and I said, let me know if you get that raise because you all deserve it. They got a raise. I got emails and thank yous and text messages. They listened. So it's like, I felt like I was in that position and in there for a reason. So I ended up working there for, I guess, 4 years. Does everybody remember when the economy took like a nosedive in like 2008 and it like shook construction to its core? Well, I was in Vegas when this happened. I started working at Mulaski Pacific, which is the job I'm telling you about, in 2004. And then in 2008, the whole world was shaking over this economy that was happening and jobs were at a dead stop. I got pregnant with Trevor in 2008, which means I went through a divorce and I got together with somebody else and I got pregnant again. Fantastic. Throughout the whole thing, though, my career was going steady and strong. The president of that company took care of me. You know, it's like when the company couldn't afford to give you a Christmas bonus, he gave me a Christmas bonus out of his own pocket to make sure that I still got a Christmas bonus. And honestly, I'll never forget it. And I forever compare it to places that I work now. Place started going under. I start going under mentally at the same time. It was like together, you know, the world is crashing. You can't get a job at the same salary you're getting because my field is very, very specialized. I'm in construction accounting, which means I deal with lien laws. From there, the economy is dying, it's shifting. It's like all these construction jobs are stopping. I was pregnant at the time. I decided it was time to get out of Vegas. I wanted to go back to Texas. Vegas didn't bring me joy anymore. I moved back to Texas, found a job pretty much right away because Texas, yes, they were hit with the economy stuff, but they were still doing better than Vegas, like a lot better. So I got a job right away and I actually ended up getting a job making more money than I was making in Vegas. So I got a job, but it was really just like I was doing civil type work, but it was construction. So it was like highways and roads and stuff like that. But I was working for a micromanager who would like give me stuff to do and then take it back and change it. It was the strangest thing I've ever encountered. Honestly, I hated that job. She was just all into everything I was doing and nothing was right. It did not matter what I did. Nothing was right, but I wasn't going to quit because if they were going to lay me off, they were going to pay me. They were going to pay me a severance. I'm not going to leave on my own, even though I hated it. I was making too much money. When I say I was going to get a severance, it wasn't out of the blue. They were letting people go because they were shrinking down. I knew it was a matter of time before I would go. So I just had to buy time. I got the severance check, whatever. Now we're in 2011. I got a contract job. It was a 2-month time frame. And I'm like, well, I could use it right now while I still look. This will be a good thing because I'm in a relationship, but I am the breadwinner in the relationship. And I have kids that are depending on me in this relationship. So I was constantly making sure that that money was coming in. So like I said, I took this 2-month job. It ended up turning into like a year and a half. Finally, my last day was coming. They threw me like a party type thing. And it was really sweet. And I actually still talk to some of those people today. On my last day, keep in mind, I had been looking for a job for the last 5 months. Okay. Couldn't find anything. 5 months, nothing. And then randomly, I get an email for a position at a roofing place. And I'm like, all right. So I call her. And I was like, I'm interested. What is it about? You know, what's the pay? What's going on? And then when I tell you that I got this email on my very last day at this company and picked up the phone and called and she said, can you go down for an interview today? After work, I say goodbye to this company. I go, I show up, and they hire me. And I was there at that job for 9.5 years. I love my job. The people there were like family, but I could do my job after 9.5 years with my eyes closed. I knew I needed to move on to keep my brain going. Like I want to challenge me. I'm sad. You know, I'm like, I could stay and become a director. I could, That's a possibility. I'm going to open up my LinkedIn. I'm just going to open it up. I'm not going to actively look. I'm just going to dip my toe and see what's out there. The next day, I get a message from a recruiter from LinkedIn, and he's like, I have a job that fits your resume. Are you interested? So I respond back and I'm like, I don't know. How much is it? I said, I am very happy. So it is going to take me a little bit to be really interested enough to go. What do you got? He tells me, and I'm like, okay, well, is there a bonus structure? I was like, I need to know that there's a bonus structure and what the potential is for that. We start talking, we start negotiating, that kind of thing. He's like, they want to interview you tomorrow. I have an interview, goes really well. And then I leave and I go back to work. By the time I get back to work, they've offered me the job. Now I have a decision to make. I'm like, this is what I get for freaking dipping my toe in the water. This is what I get. I have a decision to make. Do I jump and be completely and utterly uncomfortable? Or do I stay with the people I love with my 28 days of PTO and grace and flexibility? What do I do? It was one of the hardest things that I had ever done. It was right after COVID. So I left September of 2021. Like, I was ready to move on. So I started working at this new place in 2021, which I am currently at. I'm telling the story with the freedom. And I know you're going to think, oh my God, how can you tell this story? You worked there. It's okay. It's okay, because I've told the CFO this story too. And I'll explain that a little bit. So I started at this job. Okay. It was scary as hell. None of the people that would be on my team, because I was hired as a manager, would like me. None of them. And it's because one of the people thought they were going to get the job. I didn't know that I'm walking into resentment and problems. Okay. So I walk in there. Then, if you've listened to my show, you know that I don't like public speaking. I'm told, hey, Christy, join a big freaking virtual meeting with 30 of the RVPs and introduce yourself. And I'm like, oh my God, what? What do you want me to do? Oh my God. And tell us a little bit about yourself. Talk about anxiety. Okay. I do it. I get through it. Of course, I bring up my Dallas Cowboys. I'm like, I'm in Dallas and this is what I've done. Yeah. So I got through it. I'm like, okay, this isn't so bad. Everybody's really nice to me. Everybody's nice. And he's like, you got to get approval from Christy for blah, 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 blah. So I'm the bad guy. Okay. Cause this is sales reps and this is RVPs of sales. So I'm the bad guy. Accounting's always the bad guy. I'm like, okay, well, I got through that. Like, I walked through my fear and my mindset was good. I walked through fear. And then they decide that they want to have a regular Monday meeting every Monday. And I'm like, oh my God. And now I get to bring percentages. I get to show everybody percentages and have them ask me a million questions and know that they don't like me. Oh, joy. Can't wait to do this. Now my anxiety starts on Sundays. Like, now on Sundays, I'm like, I'm going to die. I don't want to go in. I want to call out. I hate this. And they're not nice to me. Like, these people are not nice to me. It's like, here I get on. I'm like, hi, how's everybody doing? And then I would just get like death stares. It's like, what is everybody? Do you guys drink coffee? Maybe you should drink coffee. It was awful. But they were mean, and they would ask these questions like, well, I don't understand why, blah, 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 blah. And I'd been there like freaking 3 weeks, and they would just attack. They would attack so bad, in fact, that the CEO and partner had to come visit me and the director of accounting so they could apologize for how we were getting treated. Like, we would get off the phone and I would be in tears. And I'm like, I hate this place. I hate everything about this place. People are freaking mean. And I'm thinking, I left my comfort zone for this shit. I was pissed. And then I changed my mindset. Okay, I'm going to give this 1 year because I am not going to bail before I see what happens, before I see what I can actually do here and what relationships I can make. I saw it as a challenge. I'm like, it's not going to beat me. I'm going to beat it. I know I'm good at my job. I'm just not going to let it happen. And the miracle happens. A freaking miracle happens. They get acquired by another company. Oh God, here we go. Oh my God. Now there's absolutely no comfort for anyone, not just me, but everyone. Turns out this ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me and the company, because the people that actually bought the company were kind of amazing. They really cared about their employees. And I'm like, oh my God, is this all talk? Because I ain't buying. Like, I ain't buying. Then I had a meeting with the CFO. And I realized that he's a lot like me. Like, we're similar in the way that we think. He listens to my ideas. He sees potential for me. Like, he's already said, he's like, as soon as Trev grows up, he's like, I want you traveling, I want you going and networking and making sure that we keep our big accounts. What? Who's going to tell him? Yeah, who's going to tell him I don't like to network? I'm not. I'm not going to see what he offers first. Yeah, I mean, hey, if the money's good, I'll learn to network. I'll get over that. It's just a mindset, right? That's what we're talking about. It's just a mindset. I can do it. Mindset is truly everything. It's how you get from one point to the next. It's how you treat the situation. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to get into more of a growth mindset. What is a growth mindset? 8 steps to develop one. WGU. You may have heard about a growth mindset in discussions of popular psychology and social trends. From TED Talks to books, quizzes, and seminars, there is an increasing amount of discussion about this idea. But you may be wondering, what exactly is a growth mindset? And can it actually help you succeed? It helped me completely when I stopped putting up with people's crap and I realized I'm worth more. Because I don't know if you know how much strength it takes to leave a job of 9.5 years, but it does. It's like a death to leave something you've known for that long, just to jump into the unknown, like having absolutely no clue and just believing enough in yourself that you're going to land on your feet. It's hard. A growth mindset means that you thrive on challenge and don't see failure as a way to describe yourself, but also a springboard for growth and developing your abilities. Your intelligence and talents are all susceptible to growth. Number 1, listen to the mindset voice inside of you. Internal dialogue like, what if I fail? Or if I don't try, no one will see me fail, means you have a fixed mindset voice inside. I've heard that. Fixed mindset means you think this of yourself and you don't vary out of that. Like, this is your belief. It's important to listen to your internal mindset voice so you can truly discover what type of mindset you have. This is the first step to successfully changing your mindset. So yeah, identify what kind of mindset you had. I've been in a survivor mindset, which is I have to survive, I have to make it, I have to do this. And right now, I would say I'm in a growth mindset, but I've absolutely been in a fixed mindset before. To give you an example, I keep saying I'm bad at networking. That's a fixed mindset. There's a classic example. I'm telling you I'm bad at networking. So I'm now accepting that about myself and not trying to overcome it by going out there and networking, which would be a growth mindset. See what I'm saying? I'm growing. Trust me, I'm growing. And I will get over to the fixed mindset and fix it. Just not today. We are growing and evolving, though, every day. You can start in one area and work your way to the other. It doesn't have to be, let me fix the whole thing right now. It's not possible. It's so not possible. And I'm the example. Okay, number 2, recognize that you have a choice. You understand the mindset voice inside of you is telling you not to try, to protect yourself from failure. Now the choice is up to you. Will you listen to the voice? That can only be up to you. I'm a terrible cook. I am not good at cooking. How do you know? Is it because you've tried and you sucked at it? Okay. Well, what'd you do about it? Like, did you just start to buy fast food every day, or did you get recipe books and test yourself and try? I can tell you I'm a terrible cook. Okay. This is a fixed mindset that I don't mind having because I hate it. I'll definitely be the grandma that buys the whole dinner and then hides the packaging and then just puts it on the table. That's me. I own it. Number 3, talk back with a growth mindset voice. Instead of falling for the mixed mindset voice, talk back to your internal dialogue with a new mindset. say things like, I'm not sure I can do it, but it will be worth it to try. Or if I don't try at all, it is a failure. This new voice will help you drown out the fixed mindset voice that is crowding your thoughts and ambition. I agree. That's something that I definitely do. I talk to myself. And when I know that it's uncomfortable and it feels really bad, I have to tell myself that it's not going to feel like that always. I have to walk through it. I have to do it. Those virtual meetings at this job, they sucked every bit of energy I had to do them. I hated them. But I woke up on Monday morning and said, it's not going to be all day. It's going to be 1 hour of my day. And then I can turn off my camera. So what that I'm the first speaker? That's a good thing because I can get it over with and then turn my camera off and listen to everybody else. But I had to find a way to be okay with being on the camera in front of everybody, giving numbers and percentages that they could shoot holes in. I had to be okay with that. I practice that every morning by saying, it's only going to be an hour and then you're done. And then you can breathe the rest of the week. It's only an hour. And that's how I got through it. I was training myself to deal with it because I had to. What was my alternative? Quit? Run away? No, I wasn't going to do that. I have family support. I wasn't going to do that. Number 4, practice. I like this one. Put yourself in situations that are challenging to help you practice your new voice. With new challenges around every corner, there's many opportunities to thrive from setbacks and trials. Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do, right? I think there's more strength in actually doing something where you have a choice and you choose the harder route. I think that's braver than me talking to myself to get through these virtual meetings. I think my braver choice was when I left my job of 9.5 years because I had a choice. I could stay comfortable. It could keep my 28 days of PTO. And my choice was not to do that. My choice was to grow and get uncomfortable. So I would say practice, like I'm doing with the podcast, practice every day and keep getting better, but be okay with when you suck. I think that's the win there is be okay when you suck because you will. As long as you know you're going to suck, all you can do is get better. And when you do, it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding. Like I find it so cool when I'm editing and then I discover something new and I'm like, oh, I can put that in there. How cool is that? And it's like, I just got a little better. Because ultimately I don't want to be in accounting. I don't. I have no desire. I want to do this. 5, find outside help. Cultivating a growth mindset isn't something that can be done alone. You'll need outside help to help offer encouragement and advice. And this is where they try to sell you on their program and their mentors. So I'm going to skip that. I think talking to your friends or your family about what you're thinking about doing and maybe weighing the pros and cons is not a bad thing. That's actually a really good thing to do, to sit down and write your cons out, your pros and cons. Helps you make a decision. Is this the right decision? And once you decide it is the right decision, then you start the process. Then you're ready. It's forgiving status. Like I'm going to make mistakes, but I am going to kick its ass status. Once you make that decision, green light. Number 6, stop seeking approval from others. While you need outside help, you also need to stop worrying about the approval of others. Comparing yourself to others, focusing on how you look to others, and hiding failures are hindering you from developing a growth mindset and finding success. Keep focusing on yourself and how you can grow and stop worrying if others are looking at your progress. Chances are nobody is. That's a big one. It's like you think everybody's looking at you, making fun of you, thinking you're just not it, not it. And nobody really is. Nobody really is. And if they are, and they think what you're doing is terrible, how long do you think they're going to watch? Not very long. So honestly, they may see you right out the gate and see that you're not that good and then tune you out. Good. Bye. They're not your cheerleaders. They're not your support team. They're not your tribe. Bye. Don't worry about what they think. Okay? Don't. You're doing good. Number 7, replace the word failing with learning. Okay. Yeah, I say fail a lot. I could definitely change that to learning. I could do that. Let's read it. As you come to recognize that failing is just a new way of learning, you'll stop being so afraid of it. By embracing failure as an opportunity to continue learning and growing, you'll be on your way to understanding what a growth mindset is really all about. I agree with that. There's not much to add there. It's kind of complete by itself. Failing is learning. Replace the word with learning, and it'll make you feel better. Number 8, take growth mindset action. You need to follow through on the actions your new mindset voice tells you to take on. Sometimes you may not succeed, but that's okay. As you practice talking to yourself with a growth mindset and follow through on the actions, you'll cultivate the mindset of growth. Yeah. And I want to just add right here that here it tells you the growth mindset versus fixed mindset. I feel like I gave you a really good idea of that, what it was earlier, so I'm not going to read through it. But I really hope if you're to take anything from this, and God, I rambled. The editing I have just created for myself is unreal. Like unreal. Because I was here and I was here and I was here. You're not going to hear that though. You're going to think I am in complete alignment with my thought process, which I am not. So I'm here to give you the background. I am not. The editing is where I really shine. I would like for you to take from this that it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to think you're not good at something. Although that's considered a fixed mindset, you can jump all over that and make a growth mindset by just practicing and doing it over and over and over again. It's pretty amazing. I can tell you right now, I'm living in growth mindset. I'm living here, and honestly, I love it. I love everything about it. It is so much better than being in survival mindset, which is where I have been for, I feel like, a million years. And I'm finally able to be in alignment and be uncomfortable and be okay with it. So I hope you join me on that. If you feel like you're in a growth mindset, you have to put it in the comments. I want to know who's growing with me. Who's with me? If you're in a fixed mindset, that's okay, because we can move into the growth mindset. It's not fixed. It's not fixed. Even though it's called fixed mindset, it's not fixed because you can move to growth. So let me know which mindset you're in. And I promise you, this will not be the last time we talk about mindset, because honestly, that's how I live my life. That is where I'm at. Maybe next time we'll talk about survival mindset. I just needed to be a little bit more positive today. I needed that in my life, you know? It's important for me to stay in the headspace that I am in, because then I'm a little bit more genuine with you. If I align with my headspace, I'm in a grateful headspace right now. So thank you for being here. Please put in the comments how you like the show, what mindset you're in. Click like and subscribe, the little plus sign at the top, and come back and hang out with me at the premiere on YouTube. They are 7:30 Central Standard Time and 8:30 East Coast Time. And it's basically, we're just watching together. There's a chat box that opens up and we can talk about the episode. I will see you next Monday or Sunday at the premiere. Talk to you then. Love you, miss you, bye.
LUMUB Podcast.
Love You, Miss You, Bye has been brought to you by Christy Chanel, LLC. But if you're looking for more information or want to follow us on social media, go check out ChristyChanel.com. All the podcasts are streamed there and the YouTube episodes are there. So why not? You can also listen where all podcasts are streamed. This includes Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And lastly, thank you to you, the one that's listening or watching. I appreciate you so much. Love you, miss you. Bye.